So I'll do the summary this time. Last time you all traveled through a portal from Lifthrasir's lair in the swamp, and you made it to the tomb of the bronze-headed pharaoh in the great desert of Aerith. And in the pharaoh's tomb, you evaded all sorts of traps, and then the tomb itself started to fall in around you. You only had a moment of time to try to get the jewel from the third eye from the pharaoh himself. And after you've turned into snakes and evaded all sorts of traps and things like that, you had to contend as the tomb fell out down around you with the various parts of the bronze-headed pharaoh, which had taken on his essence, his spirit, and you combated them and survived and got the jewel and made it out. You made it back to Lifthrasir's her abode in the swamp, and you're there now. Nicodemus is gone. He completed his task, returned to Ulvenvar, and so let's see here. And so she compliments you when you make it back, and is amazed that you were able to pull this off, that you defeated both the sinister syndicate in Ulvenvar, and you also were able to be the only adventurers that could survive this tomb and make it out with the eye. And she now has all of the various pieces to construct what may become one of the most powerful magical rings in all of Aerith, which she has promised to simply give to you. She is wanting to escape the demonic pact that she's in after death, before time runs out. And so she opens a portal to what will be your last challenge, which is that she says that I need the cerebral ichor of a great beast that was bound, sometimes called the World Monster. It's a monster of nightmares, but it was bound magically ages ago, and from its prison I need you to extract a measure of its cerebral ichor from its brain. That's the final piece I need to temper the ring, and then I'll be free.
Does she have some type of a spinal tap or syringe or some kind of a device?
Do we have to take
You're
this
not asking us to
living
kill this
creature?
creature. Right.
The spectral figure looks at you when you ask this and looks down at your blade. It doesn't matter how you obtain it, but no, I'm afraid that I don't have any sort of artifice that is designed specifically for this. Nor do we have time to construct one.
So, would we know anything about this creature? Like, is it something we would have heard of, or is it something new entirely?
You all have not heard of it.
She compared it to a Tarrasque.
She says it is a great abomination called the Odonotyrannus. It's over 100 years ago. It was this creature of nightmares. It laid waste to kingdoms throughout an entire region. There was a great sacrifice of knights and sorcerers that lured it into a mountain fortress. And though all of the knights perished, one of the wizards was able to simply bind it into a sorceress prison and force it into a magical slumber. And there it awaits to this day.
Does she know of any dangers we might encounter when we enter this this place?
She does hand you a brazen vessel in which you can cork and keep a pint of the fluid if you can obtain it. And she says, I don't think anyone has visited this site since the Odonotyrannus was bound there, though. I know that it would be well known if it had escaped.
So she expects it to be quite uninhabited, aside from the abomination.
You're kind of picking up on Giza's point. Are there any traps or guardians, perhaps, that were set up that we should be aware of?
I don't know. Though what I can tell from my scrying is that the magical prison that traps the Odonotyrannus is a powerful one. Anything that would have sought to thrive there nearby it would maybe benefit from that prison as well, without awakening the beast. But I don't sense anything. Just the prison itself is overwhelming.
Perhaps it'll be some sort of a riddle for us to get past this prison. Well, it sounds like the only way to learn more about this is to see it for ourselves.
If only we had a great sorcerer, a wizard, or mage that would accompany us. Someone knowledgeable, spry, but perhaps aged in wisdom.
Well, how would I put it? You know, like, yeah, it would be great, isn't it? But you have another best thing, I guess.
Now, Patrick, I was referring to you, of course.
Oh, I wouldn't say that I'm so great, you know. But I have my moments. I agree.
Charles has nothing else to say. He's, as I think Giza implied.
I have, but I have one problem. Why is it we always fighting some kind of lizards or similar thing? No, yes, it's a theme. Lizards, frogs, snake people. What was it? Then we turned in one snake in a snake. Why is it always that kind of thing? Now, a big snake, a dragon, or what? What's that?
Lifthrasir gets actually momentarily caught in her typical intellectual trappings, despite her otherworldly state, and says, "Well, my dear Patrick, of course it's because the serpent people and toad folk of our existences, they were the masters of the primordial energies and essences. They were the first to come and to rule. These are things of the beginning times."
Preferable form for chaos, perhaps. Is that what she implies?
So we are going into the prison that we don't know anything about. That is meant to keep a large dragon-like creature. Oh, that sounds exciting.
Yeah. I feel we need to be delicate and not break the prison or slay this beast in our quest. Releasing this creature back into the world sounds undesirable.
Wasteful, at least.
So
Unless there's a way we can make money off it.
Just to confirm, how big is this creature is?
Big enough to need a mountain, right?
She says it legends vary from what I understand, but the world creature legends would say the size of a building to the size of a world. They're unreliable in that way.
And we need to go like inside it, get to his brain. Oh, that sounds like, very easy task. Yeah. So this creature is like very large, and we have to not only we have to go through his skin, and also go through his skull. Right.
Or perhaps through the roof of its mouth.
Yeah.
Puncture the brain pan and get the fluid out that way.
Eyes might be a route as well.
The head of a dead creature is always close to the ground.
No, I'm with you, Ellis. Though, if we don't have to slay the beast, I think that's obvious. I think that's the prudent course. And if we don't have to free it, all the better.
So, what do we know about that magic that bind him to that mountain?
Well, it must be strong enough or stable enough to keep an abomination of this size there for as long as it does. Maybe it won't be so hard to literally stab it and pull whatever fluids out we need. I only wonder whether the prison will also keep us from touching it. That's my main worry. Because I agree with our companion that we should avoid affecting the prison however we can.
That's what I'm worried about. We need to somehow not to. I totally agree with you all. We need to somehow not to let this creature out. That's the most thing that I'm afraid. So many people die just to keep it contained in this prison. That creature must be vicious and horrible.
Okay.
Giza feels he has no other preparations that he can make, so if everyone else is in agreement that we should press on through the portal to it.
I think I have to, I think I need to, just realized I made a little bit of a mistake. So it's going to take me just a second in case you want to discuss your plans a little bit more.
Maybe we can go through our gear, see if there's anything that might be helpful. I'll ask Patrick, do you have something that will make creatures fall asleep? Perhaps if we inadvertently begin to wake it up, is there some thought about that? Does anybody have any? I've heard the petals of the lotus flower can sometimes be used in a tincture to make creatures sleep. I've already looked through my backpack and I have very standard dungeoneering gear, nothing that would be of any assistance.
Well, I'm not sure. No, I don't think that I have this kind of magic. The only thing that I can do is blind him. That's the only thing.
Giza has nothing in particular beyond an ordinary adventuring gear, but perhaps we do have a way to teleport back to Ulvenvar, the city we were in earlier, that perhaps if we needed to, we could find things to assist us there. Like perhaps if we had a ritual or a scroll that we could concoct to help us in that way, we could. We have such limited time, but I imagine if we had enough, we have plenty of funds available to us, but not enough time to amass, like perhaps magical reagents to assist in the casting of a spell.
Yeah, I don't think you have time to try to artifice or construct things and that sort of thing, yeah. Just what you have available. All right.
Well, ropes and things of that nature, perhaps we bind it as much as we can before we take the sample and just see what happens.
All right. You all ready? The portal opens, and you step once more through it. I will give you the benefit of Jessica's snakes, but I don't know her magic. I actually don't even know her snake's hit points, so I'm going to guess at that, but I know they were powerful in attacking, so. Lifthrasir's spell deposits you in a ruined courtyard of a decrepit fortress. Broken curtain walls, shattered towers outline the castle's former boundaries. Wind-blown weeds grow up through cracks in the courtyard's flagstones, rustling in a cold mountain zephyr. The broken slabs hold another harvest as well. The bleached bones of nearly 60 men, still encased in rusting armor, holding corroded weapons in their bony grips. Gaping in the courtyard's center is a great open pit measuring some 80 feet in diameter and 40 feet deep. The pit's sides are ringed with exposed broken rooms and collapsed tunnels, suggesting the sinkhole broke through the fortress dungeon, shattering its undercroft in its wake. The pit's bottom is rubble-strewn, and a thin layer of debris covers a heaped form within it. The massive pile slowly rises and falls in a rhythmic cycle of mighty slumbering breathing. A dim glow of eldritch purple seeps from gaps in the debris pile around its circumference, in a circle of pallid, unearthly light. You do see this like cracklings of purple energy around this thing. And every once in a while you can see it like in the air inside of the fortress. Like beyond the keep's walls, inside of the courtyard and the grounds, you can see this energy sometimes. Oops. What do you do?
So, how should we proceed? I guess there's only one way I can see from here. It's inside this hall.
Far less formal and far more chaotic than I expected. I'm not sure.
I think we should send a snake in to see if there are any traps.
Yeah, I agree. Should it's too many lizards that we've seen. How about we make less of them? I'm just wondering what this, purple glow, and it seems like probably it's a magic that keeps that creature dormant. I'm just wondering how it affects other things.
Alice is going to pick up a rock and kind of throw it into towards the pit, pretty much as far as he can, just to see what happens to it.
You throw the rock to the pit, and it actually hits one of these pieces of energy. You can actually see then, like as some of the energy starts to ignite, it seems as if, it doesn't seem harmful, but the energy field seems to react to things that enter it.
Perhaps we can get in, but we won't be able to get back out.
Well, something we have this thing that can teleport us to back to the bog, so shouldn't be a problem.
Perhaps, but does this spell of imprisonment prevent teleportation as well as normal movement?
It could be a thing. I really don't know. It's weird. She actually planned to go there to get that thing, She would have thought about the plan and everything, but it seems we're not in the know how to proceed. But well, we have to improvise.
While we're doing this, Giz is actually going to take the time to go through the corpses that are strewn about the old castle walls, and he's going to look in particular for any bodies that don't have armor on them, because it sounded like sorcerers perished during this too, so perhaps we can find something among the remains of those, if there are any.
Oops. Of note, all of these bodies are inside of the grounds. But let me see. You also, while you see bodies that don't look like they have armor, or at least the armor appears ruined or destroyed, so that maybe they don't have armor, can't tell. You don't see anything that could be of use on the bodies. Everything seems to have been destroyed.
Are the bodies decayed, or do they seem to be still intact?
They're not intact. They're bleached white bones, and all of their equipment is rusted and decayed.
This power field, is this... It's kind of keeping us... We haven't entered the courtyard proper. It's not just contained within that pit. Is that correct?
It is not just contained within the pit. That is correct. And, I have that you all are outside of the keep, outside the ruined walls.
Well, anyhow, there's no time just, to stand here. Let's send the snake and see what happens to her.
Okay.
I'm getting impatient.
A Jeffica snake goes in and slithers along the ground, and then let me see what happens when we do that.
That's worrying.
I guess I don't have a D100, so I guess I'll use this. Like there's these like crackles of purple magical energy around the snake. But it slithers in and looks back at Jeffica, wanting guidance.
No, Jeffica, let's try to come back. See if she's able to go back.
And she comes back, and seems to be able to leave.
Charles is going to. Go ahead.
No. It's okay. I just wanted to say, well, that's reassuring.
That is reassuring, but before we step in, Charles is going to go clockwise around the broken keep. If anyone else wants to accompany him, looking for any unusual openings or anything that's a little bit different from this frontal assault. So
yeah, ULS will follow around on that.
Yeah, just basically moving through the rubble, kind of peering in, looking, in particular for any kind of arcane sign or anything that looks like more of a portal.
You get the impression as you travel around the outside of this broken keep, the winds gently wafting weeds that have grown up through here, that whatever cataclysm, whatever happened that encased this thing in this sorceress field, took the lives of everyone in it to try to cast it. Such that the effect doesn't seem to be outside of the keep, and there doesn't seem to be any kind of mechanism to enter and leave. It doesn't seem that the sorcerer that maybe sacrificed their life to do this ever intended anyone to ever enter or leave.
Right. Do we know if the color purple is associated with chaos magic? Is there any? I'll ask Patrick. These. I don't know if Charles. Yeah, Charles was actually in the original group. Back in the original keep, remember way back when, before we found the long ship, there were there were various energy portals and things like that. Does this color purple mean anything to you?
Does it?
I think you could make an intelligence check to beat a DC 15 for a degree of success for what you could try to determine about this. But in the meantime, while you make that roll, I'll also tell you that probably Charles maybe doesn't know this, but Euelis and Patrick would. There is no such thing as safe magic. All magic, there is no magic that is known or controlled. All magic comes from borrowing, and always a bargain that comes at a price from some other being. Every form of magic comes from a being with an agenda. Every single time.
Yeah.
Well, no such thing as free lunch.
Yeah, and Patrick is gonna say, "Well, I have no idea. To be fair, you have to understand that magic is a fickle thing. Like, for example, I tried to protect you all. Thank you, thousands of people. Oh my God, it was horrible."
Charles will gently pat the old wizard on the shoulder and say, "There, there, old man, there." He's going to hold up his spear of law in front of him and proceed into the courtyard towards the pit.
Okay. These flashes of purple magical energy are cracking around you as you hold the spear and start to proceed into the courtyard. And I will make a check.
I'm gonna be following him, but only like very, like not too far away.
So far, it seems like as you enter here, the magical blasts of energy do not seem to be affecting you.
Okay,
the spear seem to have an effect, or is it just that it doesn't happen to be hitting me?
Doesn't seem to be hitting you.
Okay.
Yeah, Patrick is. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, continue.
Good. No, it's all you.
I'm gonna go as well.
You smell this like ozone smell of energy and power around you. You get the sense that connection of all of this energy is everywhere, a lattice work of power all around you. And you're just kind of like wading into it. The hairs on your hands and arms raise up from the power and energy. Looks like Patrick and Euelis entered?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, let me make a check. Actually...
oh god, what if this is to wake it up?
Oh my.
Who's the last person to enter?
I don't know.
I'll say it's Euelis. I think it was Euelis. Of the people that went in, I think it was Euelis. Let's see here. So as you all enter, all of a sudden, like Euelis, you start to walk toward this pit, and like in a bunch of these magical bursts of energy crack onto you, almost like electricity, like as if you were touching some statically charged thing. You're not hurt. Unfortunately, though, you see like a cascade of them. Did you pass your intelligence check, Patrick?
Nope.
That's a dang shame. Because it appears that in the past 100 years, with weather and neglect, that this sorcerous energy field, powerful though it is, has been failing. And the presence of interlopers seems to be the final thing, as all of a sudden you see a cascade of these things, and suddenly the energy field stops.
Oops.
And then you hear a noise as something is awoken, and the ground starts to shake around you as the pit billows up and out, as the earth starts to peel back, and then portions of the earth just rise up, and there is this absolutely massive beast that claws its way out of the pit. And everybody can roll for initiative.
Patrick, wow!
Initiative, you say.
Let's see here.
And he's gonna just run from there. Sorry, agility.
right.
5. Oh no.
Oh, I roll nice today. For initiative, that is.
Trell's got a 17. Let's see, Uelis got an 18. Giza got a 5. Patrick got an 18. I'm going to put you at the top, Patrick, because you always roll bad, so you go at the top. Okay. And then I'm going to roll for Jeffica. The Jeffica snakes. I'm going to move this thing up a little bit just so that we can see, you know. And Jeffica. This will be for her snakes as well. She gets a 6. All right, Patrick, you're able to act first. This thing claws its way out of the pit. Yeah.
And how does it look?
I'll tell you how it looks. Yeah, this thing is an earthy abomination, a monstrosity, some maybe 250 feet in length and 150 feet high at the shoulders. Its face is a mixture of human, bat, and iguana with a slavering maw. Its body appears bloated like blood blisters that pulse, bruised greenish-black coloration. It moves in a speed that belies its size as it scurries just as if a portion of the earth just jets towards you.
Right, so I can see like some kind of like...
I will tell you this also, that actually everybody can make a intelligence check for this.
That's it like... does it actually...
All right,
beats
Charles
fire or
beats it.
something like that?
Patrick beats it. Okay, Patrick and Charles. So something that you can also tell is that as massive as this thing is, I know I said it was fast, but actually it seems as if it's still kind of, what's the word I'm looking for, groggy and pulling itself up. Like it's just waking up after 100 years. So currently it's slow. You get the sense that this thing has a latent power in it, that if it wakes up fully, other things could happen.
Anyway, so there's no time to waste. I'm gonna do my favorite thing and just, launch my scorching ray into that abomination and see what happens. Well, this thing is horrible. Let's see how you fare with a great Patrick Zeton. And he's gonna try to. Scorch Ray doesn't have a Mercury effect, so I was lucky on that. So, roll intelligence. Ooh, that is 25, yeah.
That hits.
Yep. And 25 means... 25 means the counter... a free raise! Each ray does 1d12 damage plus caster level.
Alright.
Each target must make DC 15 reflex to save or catch on fire.
It's not gonna save.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that's not fair. There's a thing here. It says... it says something about saves. Gosh darn it. Sorry, go ahead. What were you gonna say though?
Yeah, and if it's gonna catch on fire, if it doesn't say, it does 1d6 damage until it succeeds on the reflex.
I'm gonna have it save not, based on fortitude instead, because this thing.
Yeah, so let me roll 2d12 or 3d12.
It's got a fortitude plus 12. Does a 22 pass?
15. Yes, it does.
All right.
so it doesn't get you far. That's
Okay.
one thing. So let me roll 3. No, it's not 3d12. It's actually 3d. 3d16.
All right.
Okay.
You do 27 damage to this thing. It howls as Patrick gathers together these bolts of energy and it blasts into it. These massive blood blisters explode, and this acidic blood flies into the air and splashes around all around you all. Let's see. Ted and Uellis make a reflex save. And that was 27 damage, right?
Yep. In total.
All right. Okay. Did anybody?
I failed.
Okay.
No,
With
I
the
got
not.
5.
Okay. Yeah. All right. You all take. Let's see. Each of you take 4 points of acid damage as this stuff splashes onto your armor. And that brings us to Uellis.
Okay, Uellis is going to kick himself for not doing this earlier. He's going to come. Stop measuring things. There we go. He's going to come step here, and then he's going to try and cast protection from evil, which is not there. It's here. 19, 24. Oh, nice. So everyone within 20 feet gets +2 bonus to saves. Effectively plus evil creatures take a -2 penalty, and damage is reduced by 2 points per die.
Okay, I'll say everybody gets that.
Better.
Okay. All right. Let's see, Charles.
Yeah, I'm going to go for a blinding attack with my Spear of Law. How many eyes does this thing have? 1, 2, 5, 20?
Something like 5 larger eyes and then clusters of tiny little vestigial ones.
Gotcha. So he'll just run up with the spear, trying to lance it at least one of the larger bulbous eyes, and we will see.
So I'm going to use luck to bump that up to a bonus of 3 for everyone. Just bumping it up. Okay.
+3. Okay. Who has the vase for the brain fluid?
I do not.
Okay.
No one else will offer it up. I'll say Giza has it.
Okay. All right. So 24 definitely hits into the eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did succeed on the Mighty Deed, but it's the lowest, so the opponent's eyes are irritated and stinging. The next attack is a -2.
Nice too. All right. And how much damage did you do?
Damage 11. Unless Uellis that spell did extra damage. I think it sounds like it's only defensive.
Make
Yeah,
a
it's defensive.
Yep. Okay.
make a reflex save, which I believe you'll also add +2 as well as any other bonuses.
+3. That
Yeah,
makes a
sorry
difference.
about that. +3. Yeah. All right, yeah, you pass. So you
21, yeah,
jump into
21.
there and stab this thing into one of its main eyes. The eye just bursts like another blister. It seems to have this well of pus that had grown around the sides. The pus explodes out either side, and you kick off, not being exposed to the acidic pus. As it seeps onto the ground, you can see it eating into the soil. That brings us to the Odonotyrannus. Which is, since Charles is there, it's going to attack Charles. The life of a tank.
So -5 net, I think. Uellis, your bonus, and then the blinding damage. So -5.
-5. Okay. So let's see. It rolls
Not that it's gonna matter.
a
I feel like that would be
19.
jelly.
-5 is 14 plus only 2 for now, and its slumbering state is a 16. Does a 16 hit?
It does not. It
All right,
glances off of the plate mail.
All right. It's starting. You can see as it takes this damage, it's starting to slowly awaken and move faster, yeah, it fails to swipe at you. I think it tries to even chomp at you as you dodge past with the acid flying and everything. Jeffica, is gonna Jessica is gonna send her snakes in. And they're gonna attack. One of them hits. Okay. And Jessica, what's a basic cleric kind of thing that we could do here? That I don't have to like dig around in spells and, you know. I'm just gonna pick your spells, Willis. What do you got? She's gonna use chaos for this, but let's see if she even passes.
Evil word of command, probably not that useful.
Can bonuses stack from a blessing?
I don't know.
Okay. Any other like attack spells or anything like that?
I don't have any, but she might.
Okay. I'm
so
not
like the basic spells don't include any attack spells, but her speciality might. I don't know if it offers anything. No, she hasn't.
None of this is spiritual weapon. Level 3. Do you have level 3 cleric spells? Do you have access to that?
No, not till next level.
Okay. Let's see here. God. You know, usually she struggles to figure out what to do. I'm gonna move Jeffka up to attack. That's usually what Glenn does. Hits. 3. Okay. Okay. And then these snakes start to burrow into the blisters and things and snake their way inside of this bloated, blister and pus-filled body, trying to eat away at as fast as they can, as you've seen many foes fallen just this way. And Jessica starts to strike it. She has to make a reflex save and fails. 2. Okay. Alright, Giza.
Giza's not sure if we're going to be able to kill something this supposedly strong. He's going to whip out his 50 feet of rope with a grappling hook at the end of it. Does he see anything on the creature's head that seems a little stable, like perhaps it has some horns on it or something? I don't recall the mixture of everything that you said its face was a mixture of. I heard like iguana and human.
Here it is, plus 20 to all saving throws. Because of the effectiveness of spells passing through the magical matrix. You find that your spells are muted in terms of saving throws, but we'll keep what we had for the last for Patrick's. Okay, so on the head, yes, you think that you could probably use your thief skill that you have for climbing this thing and getting up there and securing yourself to its head using a grappling hook and rope.
Awesome, that's definitely what Giza's going to do then. And I got a 20.
Nice. Yeah, you do that as this thing starts to shift around. You just throw the grappling hook and get on something gristly, and you start like making your way up really fast as there's these pulsing blisters, and it starts to awaken up. Your feet can kind of, you realize one of the blisters pops just as you get your foot back off of it. This thing is a thing covered in these blisters of acidic pus. What's your goal up here?
My goal is to get to kind of like the top of the thinnest, perhaps the thinnest part of where the skull is, and Giza's holding his like sword in his teeth, and he's got the pot ready on the side, the jug that we're gonna put the brain matter in. He's just gonna try to drive his sword in and hopefully get some of the brain fluid as it spurts out.
Now, do you have one action die?
I do, yeah.
All right.
So this is probably climbing on. It's probably all I can do
Okay.
right now. I guess.
You're confident that you find places where you think you might be able to try to drag a blade into the gristle and and hack away in with the blade to try to access into the rotten skull of this thing. You'll have to beat an armor class 20 to do it in the next turn. And that brings us back to Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. Patrick sees that that Giza is doing something suicidal, so he's gonna try to cast his magic like that it would not hit him, at least So he's gonna and he's gonna shout again, "Burn, you creature of evil!" And yeah, he's gonna do the scorching ray again.
Okay.
And that's 13 plus 4, so it's a 17. For 17 he does, right, just 17 he, 1d8. Plus cast level. So, and it's also need to do like DS 15 reflex, otherwise it's gonna catch on fire. Usual thing.
You get a plus 20, 29.
Yep.
You find that your magic is, you're having trouble trying to get it through the vestiges of this energy that's in the air.
Oh my, that's unfortunate.
And that's probably what happened. It almost probably goes off wild because you're having trouble controlling it the way you usually do.
Yeah, it's 5 damage.
All right, Uellis.
Uellis is going to rush up this way, and he's going to shout, "I am an agent of law. You will fall to my mighty hammer," like trying to taunt it into attacking Uellis and not anyone else. An attack there is my. Oh, that's not a good roll.
You
Fumble.
beat it into its side, and it seems to do nothing onto its hide as it turns, and you get your wish as it you now seem to have its attention. Charles.
Yeah, Charles obviously sees what we're all trying to do, especially what Giza's trying to do. So he'll again try to drive his spear into the creature's foot, kind of drive it into the ground. Anything to make it more stable for Giza to get that hit.
Okay.
So that's the
For your mighty
it's like
deed,
a pinning attack. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
With the Spear of Law. Let me see here. Does a 17 hit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. And let me see. Unfortunately, the hit doesn't go off, so it's 10 points of damage. But I must have hit bone as opposed to the plantar fasciitis and did not pin it.
That being said, this thing. Let me make sure I'm not crazy here. It seems to howl in pain as some of its flesh just kind of falls off to either side of the foot. You actually because you have this Spear of Law, it actually ends up just hacking through, peeling through the foot, and it just the leg just now is hanging onto this appendage from this thing, and it rears up in pain. Giza, you're holding on to the back of this thing as it rears up 50 feet.
That was not the plan. Please.
Make a reflex save.
Oh, you want Giza to make a reflex?
No. Charles, make a reflex
Whoa.
save.
I thought it was Giza to stay on. Gotcha. Reflex away. 11. Oh no, 8.
Okay, you take 3 points of acid damage that spews out of this appendage, dousing the ground and splashing onto you.
Charles rubs it through his long locks. He cares not.
This thing's going to try to throw Giza off. Giza, you can make a contested agility or strength check. It's got a 16 plus, let's see, now currently plus 3 is 19. You have to beat a 19.
Fingers crossed. Natural 1.
That is a fumble for sure. Yeah. You get thrown into the air 50 feet. 2, 3, 4, 5. You take 6, 8, 10, 14 points of damage as you're thrown into the air like a rag doll and crack against stones onto the ground and tumble across the ground.
Is it? Are you dead?
Giza, like, holds himself in for a moment and just screams in pain, barely conscious.
Broken bones, pukes up some blood, internal organs probably. Okay, let's see.
Oh shit.
That's its turn with its action die, and then it moves up as it begins on its third round. It seems to be waking up more. Jeffica, meanwhile, is going to do her attacks with her snakes. Now I have good news. Maybe. Let's see, the armor class. 13, 14, 2. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. The snakes have been working away at the inside of this beast. Let's see, I got Jeffica, she missed. But then the snakes explode out of the blisters and snake back and forth, with one of its appendages just pouring out acidic blood and blisters popping up on top of it and everything. Snakes begin pouring out of its eyes. They start going for its head. The snakes, meanwhile, are going to be taking acid damage. Okay. But this thing, finally, it seems to take as much as it can, and it actually like starts to fall forward onto its side. You all have got to get out of the way. Make a reflex save if you're within 20 feet of this thing. And I'll do it for the snakes. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in 20.
I assume 17 is good.
Well, that's silly. Not back here. I just meant like in the vicinity, in the courtyard. If you're on the edge of the courtyard, you don't have anything to worry about. And Giza, you don't have to roll because you got thrown all the way at the edge of the courtyard. Yeah, 17 passes.
Yeah, Charles got 17. Yeah.
Did anyone not get a 10?
Uella's barely got the 10.
All right. Okay, good. And then I'm going to roll for Jeffica. She passes. Okay. So this thing starts to fall, and you're like running and everything, and then it crashes in the ground, sinks under it, actually folds the ground, sends rocks flying. Pus-filled blisters explode. The acid flies everywhere. But this thing is now dead on the ground at your whim. You've slain the Odonotyrannus.
Do any of the body parts look suitable for a trophy? Like a tooth, a horn, something like that?
Yeah, you could take an Odonotyrannus tooth. Sure.
No.
Patrick is gonna do the same. He's gonna. Well, outside it. We done it, my friends. We slain the world creature. That was insane. But to be fair, I would like to mention something. Those people that died here, were weak compared to us.
It's kind of mean.
Lets out a scream, clutching his rib cage.
Yeah, cracked
like
ribs.
Me.
How many hit points do you have left?
You said it did 14, or was it 15? I have either 1 or 2 hit points left.
Wow, that's pretty close.
I mean, let's go back and check. I think I had it all on the Jeffica snake, so... Now, let's see, D6, so it's 4 is 6, 8, 10, 14.
2 hit points left.
Nice.
Alice will head over, offer healing.
Bless you. All right.
Since
think. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry.
No, please. Sorry.
Since I noticed that kind of that spear is like not like like cutting it like a butter basically, like so I'm gonna cut the tooth of it and gonna well it's true, Charles. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I can tell everyone that we slayed the world creature.
Take a sip of water. Just have a seat. Charles is like ministering to Patrick more. Like Giza's over there with like a broken arm and a broken leg, kind of hobbling around. But he's like, old man, just rest. It's okay.
I'm gonna gather you all together so I can have your tokens. So mine.
Charles is gonna survey the animal. I assume as Alice is ministering to Giza, and sort of just look at it. We don't want to explode more acid pus and all that kind of stuff. So is there a easy way to the cranium, or where seems to be a safe route?
Yeah, you have no problem accessing the cranium with it dead, and you pierce it, and gouts of cerebral fluid pour into the vase. No problem.
Yeah. Charles actually has an empty vial still, so he's going to fill a sample for himself, just for reasons.
Okay.
What's your alignment for the heal?
Giza is lawful.
Okay, so you get 5 dice in total.
Wow, okay.
I did
Thank
twice.
you.
First one barely scraped through. What?
That puts me back all the way to full. Giza's like, when as you're healing him, he's got like a hand on your shoulder, and he's just like, thank you.
This here is a merciful lady.
She's wonderful. You're wonderful too. I can feel it restitching together.
You all get the cerebral fluid, and the thing is dead, and you get whatever trophies or bits you can carry. If you want, there is, let me make sure, but I don't think there is anything in the time that you search the area that is worth anything. It has all been ruined under this sorceress field that has now evaporated. I don't.
Sorry.
Yeah, I don't think you'll find anything of value in the area.
So, if we cut its belly, is it possible to? Yeah, but it's probably all like he's splitting. He has acid, so there's nothing probably in his belly, or maybe some kind of magical item.
Yeah, there's nothing of value in the area.
Okay. Well, Patrick got a new name.
The World Beast Slayer.
Yes.
Nice.
It's like people, from Latin America, they have like loads of names. So now
Yeah.
Patrick Aton, the World Creature Slayer.
Yeah, nice. All right. What do you all do?
Well, I guess we should go back then.
Giza hasn't really. He got that gossamer shroud when him and Patrick were in that magical library. He's gonna hold the gossamer shroud up over his face because I don't know. I guess it has. I don't know what it actually does. Haven't experimented with it, but if it does detect life, I have an inkling that this beast may not be dead, but I could be wrong.
That's pretty clever. Yeah, you. I think what it does is it detects unseen things like ghosts and spirits and stuff. But nonetheless, you use it and you verify that this thing is surely, once and for all, finally slain.
I was hoping to use my banish spell. We got the blood, but it's not enough.
Banished it by the blade instead.
Yeah, Charles will walk over to the portal or whatever and just wait for the others. He's disinclined to search around for loot and everything like that.
Okay. You use the chime. Let's see here. And you and while the chime is like creating its sound, that's when the portal appears. So as you pass through the portal, let's see here. As the chime's enchanted toll fades, you feel your bodies grow light. And something in the passage this time goes terribly wrong as something seems to interfere beyond this world. Nausea threatens to overcome you and your body is racked with pain. Suddenly, instead of the cozy confines of Lifthrasir's hut, you're slammed against a ragged, cracking surface. Great heat surrounds you, baking off the blackened ground below and broiling you from the air above. Astounded, you find yourself prone on a great sheet of cooled lava in the heart of a volcano's caldera. Gouts of liquid fire erupt from holes in the sheet's black surface, throwing towers of lava into the air. 3 horrific figures suddenly soar overhead on hellish wings, cackling with glee, and then diving to attack. And I'll move you back.
Shit.
Something has managed to interfere with your transportation from this place that usually works, interfering from the outside. And in a volcano's caldera, surrounded in a world of fire and magma. And I believe this is your 3rd use of the chime, right? Okay.
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, you have 2 more uses. But something is interfering. These things flying in to attack. Oh man, did I actually put the stats in? Nice. That's really handy. And you can roll for initiative, which I can do with this sheet now. What? It's not going to let me? Okay, 4 plus 3 is 7. Slag Demon, 7. Alright, let's see. Patrick got a 13. Giza got a 16. Ted got a 17. Uelis got a 10. And then I got to roll for Jessica, who gets a 16. Okay, Ted, you're able to act first.
What do we see exactly? Are these like
You're in this
large creature, small creature? Yeah, kind of, if you will, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So they look like this, like a massive imps, like massive demonic imps on wings. They're probably that size in comparison to you, in comparison to your token. And then to go even more specifically, zoomed in, they look like this.
Do they have weapons, or they look to be natural weapons like claws and things of that nature?
They look to be unholy and unnatural weapons of their biology. Fire is coming from their skin, and gouts of magma come from their mouths.
Gotcha. Are any within range, or are they all flying? Like, sort of, what's the elevation?
They are all within range.
Okay. Then I'll take a running stab at the closest with my Spear of Law. Don't know if that does any additional damage. And if I were to get a Mighty Deed, I think what I would be doing is, I think another blinding attack, trying to get them in the face about the odds. That is the roll. Ooh. I think I hit him. Oh, a 5. Well, that's pretty good on the blinding. Oh, here it is. The opponent is completely blinded for 1d4 rounds. He flails with wild attacks and suffers a -8 to attack rolls and can only move at randomly at half speed.
Okay, randomly half speed and -8 to attack.
And it's for
2 rounds.
2 rounds.
Okay. Magma Demon. Okay. And then how much damage did you do?
Just 7.
7. Okay. All right. Let's see. All right, and that you do that. You fly into the air and do your signature move, stabbing this thing with the Spear of Law straight into one of its eyes. Fire erupts from outside of its eye around your spear as you come out the other side, and this thing just seems to aim wondrously around, screeching in pain. Giza.
Oh, Giza up next. If that thing's blinded, Giza's gonna try to take advantage of it to get to its side, get behind it, stab it to backstab it, essentially.
Okay.
Do you think that's possible? Could
Yeah,
you get
you can
a
absolutely
backstab
do
up?
that. Yeah, you can absolutely get the backstab.
Awesome. Because if Giza's not backstabbing, he's probably not much of a help in combat. A 21.
21 hits.
Awesome. And he'll do 2 damage, but let me roll the crit die. Which is quite high, a 14. Let me check on the chart. Sorry, I should have had this up.
While you do that, you and Charles can also roll a d4.
Got a 3.
3, okay. And a 3. As you're making these attacks, you notice all of a sudden magma shoots up around you in places. As you move around to attack this thing.
Oops.
Fortitude save? Okay.
Yes. Strike to the head. Ah. It
17.
passes.
And I'm going to put you over there as well, behind it. Jaffica is the next. And they're all going to attack. 1, 2, 3. Same thing. And one more. Okay, only 1 hits. Doing 6 damage. Whoop! Okay. And Jessica's also over there, and she's also going to roll a d4. 1. Now she has to roll a reflex save. She fails. She takes 5d6 points of damage, falling into a lava pit below. I'm not going to do that to her character, but I will do it to one of her snakes.
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe a snake can take her place, right?
Yeah, the snake bites it with the previous damage as well, falling into one of the lava pits. All right, you find that these pits, the cracks are just forming in the ground. Geysers are coming up. The ground's falling in underneath you in places. And that brings us to Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick tries to fire his magic missiles at the things because it seems those creatures are the demons of the flame, so the scorching ray, his favorite one, is not gonna do the thing, so he's gonna try to do that.
Okay.
But unfortunately, his mercurial effect is you need to do it in the middle of the winter. So
Okay.
he's not be able to do it, like, so they just
So it doesn't go off?
Nope.
Oh, just the mercurial effect.
Yeah, mercurial effect. You need to do it like during the winter,
Gotcha.
otherwise it's not gonna work.
All right. So the spell doesn't work?
Nope.
All right. That brings us to Uellis.
Okay. Uellis is going to move up to here, and he's going to cast Protection from Heat. Hopefully catch. Do I have to do this? Or resist heat, rather.
Nice.
That squeaks through. Although it only affects him, though. Yeah, that's pretty much just him.
All right. Let's see. Nice. Okay. That's a good idea. And that brings us to the demons. This one's going to try to attack one of the Jeffica snakes, but it does so at -8, and then wanders randomly, also having the fire effect on it, although it's immune, so it doesn't matter, and it flies. -8 misses one of the Jeffica snakes. And the other two, one of them's going to fly in and try to attack Patrick, who's right there. This other one's going to fly in, swoop in to attack Uellis. So Uellis, a nat 1, so it fumbles. It has no armor. Actually, armor class 14, so I'm going to say that I'm going to bump the fumble die up. 4. And Uellis, this thing flies in to try to hit you, but ends up, you take off one of its hands and crack off one of its hands as it flies past, screaming in pain. It won't take damage, however, it loses its ability the next round to do one of its claw attacks. It only has one other one. And so if you can take off the other hand, it's going to be limited on what it can do. Meanwhile, the other one fumbles as well as it tries to attack Patrick and gets a 10. Oh my god.
And Patrick gonna laugh, like, no way, those despicable creatures of chaos gonna hit the great Patrickathon, the world creature slayer.
This is what I think happens. I think, Patrick, you're trying to use your spell to attack this thing as it's coming in. You're like, I need a cold place, and then also your magic, you lose control of it, and it encases it in frost for a second, which causes the creature to cry out in pain and freezes it in place in front of you for the next 4 rounds. As yells out and in anger. That brings us back to Ted. Wow, they had terrible luck that round. I guess you all are happy with that, though, huh?
Yeah, no, Charles is not going to complain. he's seen enough bad luck dished out. He's going to try to finish off the one closest to them, the one that's already been hit a couple times. And so he'll drive his Spear of Law just directly into its chest. And does a 14 hit?
A 14 hit. It hits.
Okay. So 7. Oh, wow. Another.
Which one are you attacking?
The one that's already been wounded a lot.
All right. Describe how you kill it.
He's going to basically just pin it and basically do a throw over the side of the crag or wherever we are, just out of sight, out of mind.
You do that, its limp body simply falls off into the abyss. Do you have an extra die, an action die?
Not yet.
All right, Giza.
Giza is very... He's not up to par compared to the others unless the opponent is at such a disadvantage he can backstab. So Giza's instead, can he kind of be prepared to aid someone if the caldera continues breaking apart and a rift opens up beneath them?
Yeah,
he
sure.
kind of like leap to help them if something happens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
Okay,
use
that'll
your
be his
action
turn.
die for that. Okay. Jeffica, once again, her snakes and stuff, she's going to try to attack this other one. 12 hits, 14 hits. That one does not hit. Unfortunately, the snakes have to move to do this, although they cause 10 damage to this thing. Screams out in pain. Both of them roll a d4. And pass. I'll do it for Jeffica, but it'll be her snake. And that passes as well. Okay, Patrick.
Yeah. So Patrick is gonna... Well, since this thing is frozen, he's gonna take his spear and gonna thrust it with his spear and see if he's gonna do it. Because, well, it's... You know, his favorite spell is not... He's not able to use it, so...
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see if he's gonna do some damage with the spear.
Have to hit a 14.
Nope.
Alright. Uellis.
Well, it's going on with my computer. Sorry, my computer's doing something weird. Hang on. There we go. Uellis is going to come up here, and he's going to try and stun it with his hammer.
Okay.
There's my character sheet there. There's the roller. 16.
Hits.
So he does 8 points of damage, and he gets the stun on.
Describe how you kill it.
Because he's aiming for the head, he's gonna take a swing, but he's kind of taking it cautious. So he comes down from the top, and he just crushes its, hits the top of the head and just crushes its skull and spine into its shoulders.
Yeah, you do that, and then you collapse it down like a soda can, just crunching into its body, and its wing twitches and then stops moving as you slay this demon. This last demon, they are not going to flee. And with Patrick right there, it's going to try to attack Patrick. Oh, also, did you move to do that, Uellis?
Would I have had to move? Yeah, I did a little bit.
All right, roll a d4. The slag demon is unable to hit you, Patrick, and it's reaching out with its claws as it's frozen into the rock. The frost is starting to melt, though, underneath it. 3 passes. And that brings us back to Ted, back to Charles.
Yep. There's one left at this point.
Yep.
He's going to take a running charge at it, and he's going to try to hit the joint where the wing meets its back, basically like a precision sort of strike. So he's going to run across the width of this and understand that he's going to take some risk, but that's okay.
All right.
18, I think
That
hits because it hit. Yep.
You can also roll a d4.
I will. I do the mighty deed.
Nice.
And so the mighty deed was a precision. The warrior makes a near impossible shot, including slicing a narrow rope with an arrow 100 yards away, hurling a dagger into a coin from across a moat.
I'll make you a deal. I'll say that you do double damage.
Okay.
But let's see what happens on the d4.
Yeah, let me roll the d4 right
that
now.
will affect this.
It will. I don't even know what I'm rolling for, but a 4?
4. It passes. Okay. As the ground begins to fall in behind you, you make this running leap and then jump through the air with this thing. And Patrick, you just see that telltale spear of law come out from the front of this demon and from its body in front of you as Charles ends its temporary material existence, and it returns back to its
That's all we can hope for.
its abyssal chaotic ether. This caldera seems to be caving in around you all.
Yeah. And particularly, we better use the chime as soon as possible, otherwise we were gonna be burning in this volcano.
I mean,
Alright.
before I don't know who has a chime, but before we strike, is there any insight into why this happened, or you? I mean, we don't have a ton more of these strikes left, and it'd be terrible if we were waylaid again.
Yeah, can I try to figure out if something,
You can hear the chime actually warble, like it's like off, and you get the sense that its connection into the planes is still maintained. As you look at it, you will not lose your chime, your use of it. It's still maintained by whatever interfered and brought you into this halfway point in hell.
Yeah, but can we discern, like, we don't know what the interference, yeah? We know that there is an interference, but we just don't know what it is.
You could stop to take a look at it, but I'll have everybody roll a d4.
Do you want to do it, guys, or we should
No,
just...
I don't like our chances. Somebody's going into the drink.
Yeah, so
Or the
we
magma, whatever,
Yeah, let's just use the chime and see what happens.
All right, you use the chime, and it seems as if it's just easily like opens back up as if it were already maintained, as if there's some kind of like tether and you've been pulled on a string into some other point as it's strung, thrummed like a guitar string, and you enter into this warbling portal and make it back out the other side in Lifthrasir's abode. And you make it here and make it back into her tent. She says, "My champions, you have it." She sees, that you have the vase. "Never have I been so honored and touched by the dedication to fulfilling this dream and saving my soul. If I had just one more life to live, I would try to repay this kindness, but at least in the next world, I offer you my gratitude." And she takes the vial if you offer it to her, and she pours the liquid into a crucible on the work table, and speaking aloud with profane incantations connecting with the various planes you've traveled through, the ichor transmutes into an effervescent ivory solution. She slips the ring gently into the liquid, and an incandescent brilliance erupts from the crucible. Let's see. It throws shadows around the rustic hut and molten radiance from a bright star, but of some alien, an alien sun comes into existence in the dark curtain of night. It's now nightfall here. Ethereal sounds and gentle chimes that soothe the soul ring through the gleaming air, and the ghostly figure of Lifthrasir assumes a physical solidity for a moment, her spectral features bearing the glow of something beyond mortal life. Somewhere on some horrific plane, you sense a demon howling, robbed of its due. A smile of triumph and joy transforms the enchantress's plain face into a wondrous countenance. All too suddenly, the light vanishes, taking the glowing solution with it, and leaving a ring lying now empty in the crucible. Lifthrasir, now solid and still glowing with celestial brilliance, smiles a last time to you all, gestures to the ring. "I offer you 2 last rewards, my champions. First, I hope that my life's work is worth the struggles that you overcame on my behalf. My time in this world is done, but I hope your own spans one long, long and fruitful. Take the ring, with my blessing and my gratitude, and anything else from this hut. I hope that we meet again in some distant plane beyond worldly strife. And lastly, before I go and she begins to vanish her body, I offer you a last portal. The chime now will work two ways, connecting you in the last chimes that it has to some place you choose, and back to here. And her body vanishes, erased by celestial hands, leaving a rainbow-hued smear in the air, which swiftly dissipates. And you have successfully granted Lifthrasir the sorceress her rest and salvation for her soul. At this... oh, sorry, go ahead.
So, and Patrick is gonna offer the prey to Oglaz. May her soul rest in peace. Grant her peace, Oglaz.
At this, something else happens. A visitation, a vision again. Something that Uellis experiences. But for you, you see that Uellis fills himself with divine light. Uellis, this is from your perspective, no one else can see this. Uellis, you gain a sense of the grand cosmic design of the eternal struggle for just a moment. A glimpse of what's happening among plans underneath plans. And you see that it was appointed to you all to face the Chaos Champion as mere peasants, and then become what you needed to be. You see a chance for the others to gain the arcane will. There is one such arcane will, which, in the folding of destiny and time, it seems, is where you started, near your home in the Shutter Mountains. The Lusal Will is an ancient arcane will that could steer your ship back into the stars. But also, in the winding of destiny, the host of chaos has seen all of your works against them, your evasion of them, and then your defeat of one of their great champions. A champion, a mortal champion of chaos, and now one of their greater demons. And now the host of chaos is moving against you again. And they're going to use that will, that arcane will, in your homeland, to raise a chaos champion and destroy the world if they can. For the rest of you, you see divine light pouring forth from Uellis. And Uellis, you can offer something, a last thing to your companions.
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of how to leave. So Uellis will offer a blessing, and he will. So mechanically, one of the things that happens on the next level is if a cleric of Justiciar is slain, it's kind of a GM discretion thing. The Justiciar will take vengeance on that agent that killed him. So Uellis will offer that, since he must leave them, he will offer that divine favor from the lady to any one of these companions should they fall in the future.
Who would you pick?
Hidden with the longest. That's a tough question, actually. I want to say possibly Charles.
Okay.
Yeah, I think Charles has been around since the beginning. Oh no.
No. Charles is number 3. I think Patrick has probably been the longest.
Yeah.
I mean, in both like game time and temporally, his lifetimes he spent on the plane of law. Yeah.
Yeah, possibly Patrick then, because he's
All right.
Patrick has made such a fundamental change to his outlook and improved the odds of the eternal struggle in the favor of Justicia, that I hope that the lady will see it fit to give you this boon in my place.
And Patrick is going to say, well, I even don't know how to thank you. It's a big honor, great cleric, Yualash. Big gratitude to Justicia and you. May Yualash bless your soul and bring you peace.
And may she bring you peace too. And for all of you.
Do you convey to them what you've seen when you glimpse behind into the plains?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So, you, to everyone else, then that's what you know now, precisely where you can take the portal to find the wheel to repair your ship, and that a Chaos champion has been appointed by the host of Chaos to stop you and gain control of the wheel. And with that, Euelis also disappears into the plains to a place of to his own appointment.
Yeah, and Patrick, he disappeared. Oh, he was a great hero. May Oglaz bring him peace in that another plane.
As far as the blessing of Justicia, it doesn't seem to happen right now. It seems that she's withholding it to some point in the future. The ring itself, and then we'll go through the portal and see what happens there. But the ring itself, who takes the ring?
Do we know what the ring does exactly, or we're not exactly sure?
I will say that probably the person's most useful, and this is a sorceress's ring. It is most powerful if used by a spellcaster.
Yeah, no, Charles pushes it, he's like, I have no need nor desire for such things. And he's struck still by Euelis's departure. Even with this great show of magic, he wants maybe a little less to do with it for fear that he might also disappear.
Well, it sounds like Patrick, you're our last spellcaster other than Jeffica, and you're also the senior spellcaster. So I'll tell you, you take the ring. I'm not going to make you take it. Who knows what it does? Okay. All right. So once you take the ring, you are imbued with power, gaining +2 to intelligence permanently. Whoa. The bonus +2. It only works with the ring on. You can also, at will, on a spell check of 18, cast Mending, repairing any broken or damaged item by touching it while bearing the ring. You can use this once per day.
And
even
a human?
No, it'd be an item. Yeah.
Okay.
And then you can magically influence the mind of another creature.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. On a spell check of 18, you can attempt to influence a target's perception. You can do this 3 times per week. And then you can absorb a single spell directed at you, negating its effect entirely, with a spell check of 18 or less. If it's an attack, Spells of higher spell checks aren't affected. You can use this once per week. And then, in the time, I assume you study it in the time you have, you discover it has a weakness. It cannot be used against a female of any species.
Oh. Okay.
In the hut itself, you find alembics, things for sorcerers. Altogether, these items would be worth a lot of money, although your ship is here. So most of your holdings, I think, are actually in here and in Ulvenvar. So, and many of these items are very delicate.
What kind of items there are, like, for sorcerers?
Things for alchemy, alembics, vials,
Oh,
yeah, that kind of stuff.
right. Well,
Is there anything in here still? Is there anything in here that's kind of like a complete piece? Like perhaps is there any alchemical fire we can identify, or like what do they call it? The grease, the sort of grease there is. What's the word for it? I can't think of it.
I don't think there's anything that would. I think most of the things that are in here are the kind of things that can be used for projects, not for, like, you could do a magical ritual as described in the book, but that would take time, which you don't have currently, as you have been told that there is a chaos champion bearing down on the thing that could be your doom or salvation, but perhaps later you would have a chance to complete a magic ritual. Yeah.
Can you do, like, can you post description in somewhere? I will create the item and then just, add the description of the ring.
Yeah, I'll post that later. But it's a simple ring, gold band, obviously pulsing with powerful magical energy, but a simple gold band with a small gem clasped into it.
So, I'm gonna call it Magic Ass ring. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I don't know how you call it. A ring of great magical potency. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Lifthrasir's ring, I think, but
how is it? Can you pass somewhere her name?
I'll post it. I'll post it after the session. Sure.
Okay.
All right. You all continue on your journey. Anxious to.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here.
Patrick, when he gets the ring, thank you for giving me that ring. I hope I will save many lives with that ring.
On the other side of the portal to the place you find, and I've declared you are from the Shutter Mountains now. That's where your village was. That you return to familiar environs, though you have not been here. These are the though you've heard of it. These are the hollers of the Shutter Mountains, somewhere in Aerith, and you see quaint villages and buildings with smoke climbing up into the hollers and a mist hanging down underneath the hills, and familiar trees. Somewhere within these hollers is supposedly the key to you being able to once again use your crawl jammer and take to the stars, and at the same time a weapon that the host of chaos hopes to use to form their chaos champion to oppose you. And so next session will be down in the Shutter Mountains. That's the end of the session.